Hi, this is Dmitri Bilgere, and I want to give you 3 quick examples of the kind of experience that people have in the healing coaching process with me. Now, I'm a big believer in this idea that a person who needs advice isn't in a place to act on it, and a person who can act on advice doesn't need it. So, what that means is that the process you'll experience with me might be different than other coaching that you've experienced in that I'm not about giving you advice because I know that when your heart is upset, it doesn't matter how good the advice is, you're not going to be able to act on it. And I also know that when a person's heart is in a really good place, they don't need advice. They've got a pretty clear idea what to do and it just flows forth from them. So the healing coaching that I do is about helping you become that person who doesn't need advice and who can confidently move forward and take action. So let me give you 3 quick examples of that. First example is of Mike. Mike has 2 employees who are fighting. In fact, these employees are fighting a lot. And this has been driving him crazy. And not just at work, it's also driving him crazy when he's not at work. He wakes up in the night and worries about it. And he's trying to have a nice time with his wife and family. He's worried about it. It's really intruding and causing him a lot of upset. So what we looked at, because we look at this in the healing process, is in the face of the circumstance, how do you lose heart? So rather than telling him, here's how you should mediate your employees, I started saying, well, in the face of the fact that your employees are upset and are fighting with each other, what do you start to believe that makes you lose heart? He said, well, the problem I'm really experiencing, we kind of dug around and found this, is that I feel like I'm stuck in the middle and I have to fix everything again. He's like, man, that's the story of my life. That describes my family. That describes just everything. I hate that. He says, and it's not even effective. That believing I'm stuck in the middle and that I have to fix everything makes me a lousy mediator. I'm not actually able to make things better. I don't show up as a guy who's even effective. And as we talked more, we really got a sense that his heart longed to be a bridge to peace. That's really what he wants. That's really what he wants in the world. He wants to be a bridge to peace. He wants to be a space in which peaceful things just occur. Difficult things get better. But he was having this problem that he felt like he was in the middle and he had to make them better. And he did not feel like a bridge to peace when that was going on. So as we went through the healing coaching process, what he started to find, he started to experience the truth that the way to peace is peace. And as he started to realize that, he started to actually feel and actually be the peace he needed to bring to the situation. So when he went back into his work with that, he didn't have a specific action plan. He just knew that peace was available, peace was in him, and he could bring that. And so, sure enough, his employees got into a conflict, and he told me later he was much more able to bring people together and able to not worry about doing the wrong thing. And he said to me later that being able to be at peace and to bring peace has made things much easier for me. And he later reported that the fighting between his employees wasn't a problem anymore. When he was able to show up as peace and be that bridge to peace, not as a guy who was trying to make peace happen or upset and pretending to generate peace, but actually showing up as peace, what was going on around him changed. And he wasn't up in the night anymore worrying about it, and he was able to enjoy his life. So I'm going to give you a second example of Becky. Now, Becky's example is her mother's ill. In fact, it was a serious illness. She found out that her mother had a fatal illness and was going to die. Now, that's upsetting for anyone. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be upset in that circumstance, but Becky was experiencing that she was flipping out. She couldn't leave the house. She was completely freaked. She wasn't being someone who was grieving and handling the situation or facing something difficult with inner resource and beauty. She was freaking. And she wasn't able to be there for her mom. She wasn't able to be there for her family. And it was really getting to be a problem. So as we looked at it, we started to ask, in the circumstance of her mother being ill, how was she losing heart? And as we dug into that and really felt into that and did some work around it, we really started to see that she was living from the belief, since getting this news, that there's no stability for me, that the ground is slipping away beneath my feet. And she realized that when she was living from that, it was no wonder she wasn't able to leave the house. It's no wonder she was freaking out. It's no wonder that she wasn't able to be an assistance to her mother and to her family, because there was no stability for her. The ground was slipping away. So as we did the healing process, she started to develop a relationship with what she called the source of stability. And as she started turning towards that source of stability and soaking that up, she started to really feel like, yes, there is a source of stability even in difficult times. And that she was standing on that source of stability even as this was going on, even as this difficulty was happening. And as she experienced that, she started to see that she could bring this sense of stability to her mother and to the other family members in the difficult times that were coming. And she told me a few days later, she contacted me and she said that while it was certainly a difficult circumstance, she found that she wasn't flipping out anymore. She was able to leave the house and she was able to move forward on this next phase of her life. And then the last quick example I want to give you is of a business arrangement gone bad. Now this is of Suzanne. She was in a business arrangement that there was a lot of money at stake, and she was being treated poorly. She felt like she was being treated disrespectfully, that the other party would not keep their word, wouldn't keep their commitments, was flaky. And it was something that she really had to handle. And it was upsetting her. It was really making life difficult for her, and she felt like she wasn't able to interact with this person well. So we started to look at, in the circumstances of being treated disrespectfully, how was she losing heart? Because she started to believe that no matter how things turn out, I'm going to end up being disrespected and made fun of. And she was like, oh my God, my goodness, that's the way it was. It was like being in grade school again, where someone was playing keep away with her and making fun of her. And she was showing up as that upset little girl in this difficult business situation, and it really wasn't working for her. So as she started to do the healing coaching process and started to really look towards, to bring that belief and that part of her to the light and to healing, she started seeing that, as she said, there's an endless supply of goodness flowing towards you, is the feeling she got, and it will never stop. And as she bathed in that new energy, that blessing current that was opening up for her, she said she no longer felt stopped. She no longer felt like she was that upset little girl trying to do it. She said, I feel lighter and more present. I have awareness and my pride back with who I am once again. And from that, she was able to take confident action. And now that problem's in mediation, and she feels like, yes, it's a difficult problem, but she's moving forward on it, and she's who she wants to be in that situation. So you can get more information about healing coaching, free mini course, more information about me, read my blog, all that stuff at my website, livethelifeyoulongfor.com. Check it out.